Hi everyone, it's Selves. So today I'm back for a new video. So I've got lots of things I want to tell you about. As I said in my previous video, I went to the library a week ago and I got lots of new books, and also I bought a few books too in the last 2-3 weeks. And anyway, so I'm just going to tell you all about that. So the first one I want to tell you about is The Thing Around Your Neck by Chimamanda and Ngozie Adichie. So, don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right, but anyway, she's pretty famous now. I know I've discovered this short collection of short stories 4 years ago in France, and she was just starting to be a little bit more recognised in France, so she was probably already a little bit, well, famous, recognised for writing in the United States, I think, and this was the first one I read from her, and I really enjoyed it, and then made me read all of her other books, and I've enjoyed all of them, and this one is probably one of my favourite ones, and she is definitely one of my favourite authors. So I saw it and I decided to buy it because I have it in France, but I haven't had it with me here, and I really felt like rereading it, and I was not disappointed because it is just so good. Like, the writing is so good. It's simple, you know, it's not like anything really fancy, but it gets right to the point. All the characters, they're so just, yeah, they feel real and they're really developed, even if it's just, you know, in a short story, and I think that's something that is very good, and she is very talented with stories as well. Every story resonates in a way, in a different way, but it does resonate. So really enjoy this writer. So she's writing mainly about Nigeria and the United States, and I think I've learned a lot more about Nigeria from her writing than before. I think I've read from a few other Nigerian authors, but it is very good. So if you haven't read anything by this author, I would highly recommend this one, or The Purple Hibiscus. That's her first novel as well, and it was very good. So here you go. The second book I wanted to tell you about is a book that has been a lot on BookTube lately, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, and so I had ordered it at the library because I was really curious. So I think it's been, I don't know if it's been on the short list, but I'm pretty sure it was on the long list for the Men Booker Prize this year, and that is There by Tommy Orange. So it has a look at, basically in Auckland, all these different people. I think it's probably 7 or 8 people, and it has different voices in this novel, and they all go to the powwow. I don't know how to pronounce this name, I'm sorry. At the end of the book, and so it's all what is going to lead them to that event, and they're also very different, but they all have something in common, is that they are Native Americans. So it has a look at the society, like how America got to that point, obviously, and also what it means to be a Native American in America nowadays, and how different people react to that. And yeah, it's a lot of interconnected stories, I would say. So I was really excited at the beginning. I thought it was very good. The first chapter is really, I thought, oh, this is really good. The writing is quite interesting. It's very different, but then I got a bit lost. I think there were just too many characters, and some of them I didn't really like. And it's because, yeah, as I said, many voices, so probably, yeah, I don't know, I haven't counted, but maybe 7 or 8 different characters, and then you've got all of the characters in the around this particular character, so it's like, I don't know, maybe around 20 characters, and it was just too much for me. I just couldn't really remember who was who, and I got a little bit mixed. And then, as I said, some characters I was just not really interested in their story, and at some point I just felt like it was a bit, maybe the writing didn't really change that much for the different characters. I still really enjoyed the book, but I didn't enjoy it as much in the last part, and also I thought it was a bit too long. So if you have read it, I'd be very interested to see. I would be very interested to see what you have to say about this one. And yeah, I thought it was quite nice to have a different book, and also the writing was very nice, as I said in the beginning. But yeah, I'm probably going to pick up another book by this author. I think it's his first novel if he ever writes something else, but it's not a massive, you know, like, good read for me. It was just nice. Then another book I've picked at the library is the Oxford Book of Modern Australian Verse. So this one is all about poetry, so Australian poetry. So I was really excited when I saw it, and I was like, oh, I really need to get that one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it, because obviously you can't just read poetry for, like, you know, 4 hours straight, and it's just not something I can do. It's just a little bit here, a little bit there, but it's always nice. And also I'm really into poetry, but I haven't really read it that much in the last couple of years, which is a bit of a shame. And anyway, I'm just trying to change that, and also learn a little bit more about Australian writers, because I've been here for 2 years and I'm not very aware of what's going on. I'm trying to, but there is just so many things being published all the time, and outside Australia too, and so anyway, there is no excuses. I just need to learn a little bit more. So as I said in my French video that I've just done, I'm really interested. If you know any good Australian writers that you know, I would be very interested to see and have a few more names, even if it's not, you know, something very recent. It doesn't matter. And yeah, basically I had a couple of little read of different poets, and I'm already really enjoying that one. So it's not going to be, you know, something you read for hours and hours, as I said, but very good. Then another one I wanted to tell you about. I don't usually present magazines in this channel, but this is my birthday present from myself to myself. So that was a month ago, and I decided, or 2 months ago, anyway, and I decided to subscribe to this French scientific magazine that I was really following when I was at France, and I haven't been able to really get it because obviously it's French, so it's not going to be right here. So anyway, and so they're sending it to me now, which takes a long time, but anyway, doesn't matter. They only make 6, so it's every couple of months that they send you one, and then it takes about a month for me to get it, so, but doesn't matter, as I said. And so I just wanted to show it to you, even if most people are going to be probably English speakers watching these videos, but it doesn't matter, because if you're really into French things, then you go to France and you're really into science as well, that could be a good read for you. So that is Ciel, Espace, so literally science and space, sky and space, sorry. And yeah, this one is about robots basically, and how we're going to use them to learn a little bit more about astronomy. So it's basically really an astronomy magazine, and it's the best one in France in my opinion. It is very professional. It's not, you know, like all around, you know, like with big hits and trying to explain things that don't really anyway matter. So it's really professional. It's very good. The articles are usually very well written as well, and you've got all the new things, and obviously it's, you know, more turned towards France. And you also have this little back section that I really like, where you have all this amateur photographs that take pictures, and it is just beautiful. Anyway, very cool magazine if you want to have a look. And while we're talking about science and astronomy, I am going to talk about this book, and that is Dark Matter and the Dinosaurs by Randall. So I haven't heard about that book, but I've just seen it at the library, and this title was so cool that I was like, oh, I really need to pick that one up. And basically it just talks about dark matter and the dinosaurs. So no, I've just read the introduction, and so Randall is explaining that she's basically going to explain, like in a lot of scientific books, a little bit the story about the universe and everything, and then she's going to connect dark matter and the extinction of the dinosaurs 66 million years ago, and how it might be connected, and all of the science around that. So I think it would be a very interesting read, and I'm really into that kind of thing, so I'm really looking forward to read that one. It looks pretty big, so I'm not going to get through it quickly, I don't think, but that's right. And I think it was published in 2015. Then the other book I have got that I bought was during my holiday, so that was a couple of weeks ago. I bought it up north, and they have this little pop-up bookstores. I think I told you about them already, and everything is $7. So I had never heard about this book, but it sounded quite good. And yeah, I've decided to buy it, so I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it or not, but anyway. So that is Everybody's Son by Thrity Umricar. Sorry about the name again. But haven't heard about this author before. So basically it's the story of Anton. He's 9 years old and he's locked in the house during a very bad heat wave in the 1990s, and he has to break the window to get out of the house because his mother went out to, she's a drug addict, so she went out to buy a little bit of drug. Anyway, so they are going to remove basically the son from the mother's custody because she cannot have him any longer, and he's going to go and live with this judge, I think a couple, and the man is a judge, and it's basically how it's going to affect his life and their lives from what I've understood. So I haven't started reading it yet, but I thought it sounded like quite a nice read, so I don't think it's going to be a very light read. It sounds like it's going to be kind of very heavy topic and a little bit sad, but it doesn't matter, does it? So if you have read it, I'd be interested to know what you think about this one, because yeah, as I said, I haven't heard anything about it, so it might be very good, might be not so good. And the last book I'm going to tell you about is a library book again. So this one I've just seen while I was browsing the shelves, and I thought it sounded quite intriguing. So that's The Many Selves of Katherine North by Geen. Yeah, pretty sure I'm saying that right. You never know. So the cover is quite interesting at first, and then I'm just going to read behind because that's the only thing I know about the book. I haven't read anything else, and I thought it sounded, yeah, a little bit intriguing, fascinating. So Kit has been projecting into other species for 7 years, longer than anyone else at Shencorp, longer than any of the scientists thought possible. But lately she has a feeling that when she jumps, she isn't alone. So, been projecting into other species, what does that mean? What is Shencorp? And jumps? Anyway, so I thought it was really weird, but as I said, you know, I really like firefoxes, so pretty good cover as well. Really, yeah, quite nice. And with the face, anyway. So I thought it sounded, yeah, as I said, very intriguing. So could be very good, could be not so good, you never know. I've never heard about this author either, so that is possibly going to be a nice science fiction read. And that is it about, yeah, that's about it for me today. So all the books I had to tell you about, and I'm quite excited to read all of them. I've already read one, so that's a good start. And as usual, if you have read any of this, I'd be very happy to hear about your opinion, and also what you've been reading in October and what you are planning to read for the rest of the month. That would be very good. And I'll see you very soon for another video.